because I believe those guys are artists.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. When you see what these guys are doing, they're not just typical manufacturing line people that you get from the villages somewhere in China, and then you bring them on the line, and the only thing you have to do is screw this for 8 hours, right? Here you will see everything is handcrafted because everything is unique. Okay. So every time we get an ear impression here, we're gonna have to do something special that is linked to you, and it's all based on the hand work that those guys are doing. So let me show you how it works. So part of the certification program that I talked about was the concept of getting an impression that is good. So what it means for us to be good, it means that we're taking more material than we really need, because it's easy for us to shave off some of the material. It's impossible for us to add it back on. So here is on this wall a raw impression, like we have yours, Joshua, right? And here's one that has been tuned to our liking, right? Where we removed the excess material that we don't need. We polished it, made it super clean. And then what we're gonna do is add a little bit of material right around here, because when you insert it inside your ear, that's where the seal is gonna happen. So we put a little bit more material, so like that it just locks it. Okay, so this is why when you put our devices inside your ear, you're going to do this motion of a corkscrew, because that's going to just essentially go inside your ear.
Yep.
Okay, so now we have a clean ear impression. The next step, what we can do, the next step is getting a cast. Okay, so from that ear impression, we create a cast. Right, and you can touch it. It's a little bit jelly. There you go. I knew that was going to happen. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It happens all the time. That's why I put my hand below it. So it's a little gelatinous thing, right? Yeah. So this allows us to take from your ear impression, add some liquid in there, and then our goal is to end up with a shell that matches that ear impression I mentioned. So the way we do this is based on the color that you put on your order. We have all kinds of pre-mixed colors, just like at Home Depot, right? You have all these colors, and we have also numbered those colors. So like that, when we say you want a UE red 30, we know exactly what the recipe to create that UE red 30. Okay, so it's pre-mixed. They pour the liquid inside this device, and then put it into this, which is a UV curing device. Wow. And what that means is by putting the liquid in there and having the UV rays going inside this, slowly but surely, it's going to harden the shell more and more. So the longer you keep it in there, the thicker the edge will be. Okay? For each color, it also requires a different time because of the level of translucency or transparency. Okay? So now I can take that out, and I have a shell that matches your ear. Okay? So far so good. The next step here, did you see it there? So now that I have that shell, I can clean it up, make it super clean and flat here. And then I'm going to cut a very small sliver of this material here, as you can see here, right, which gives me exactly the contour of the top of the shell. And then by adding a little bit of material that we used there and UV curing it, I'm creating a faceplate that's going to be the cover here. Okay, so now I have a shell, I have a faceplate, and I'm ready to go to the next step. What you see here is the speakers that I was telling you about before. Okay, so you can see a tiny one that's going to be used for the highs. Just remember, small amount of air, but really fast. And this is going to be the lows, so that's probably a UE4 as an example here. These are the components that will create the crossover, which will redirect the signal properly. Okay? These are connected to a series of tubes. Those tubes will bring the sound from those armatures down your ear canal to the edge of the device. Okay? This is the connector that's going to be connected to the cable. So this gentleman here, what he does, he takes that, he inserts it inside the shell that we manufactured in the shell lab here. And once he's done with it, he's going to insert the cables, the tubes all the way down. And then he's going to play a reference sound through that connector. We're going to listen through the edge of that device, through this microphone, what is played back. And then based on what is played back, he's going to match back on that screen am I okay with the frequency response? If he's not, he's going to make manual adjustments, making sure the tube length is correct, the positioning in the ear canal is correct, until it matches the frequency response that we have for that product. So every product has a predefined frequency response, UE4 all the way to UE18. So every product that comes out of here, if it's a UE4, it's going to sound like a UE4. If it's a UE18, it sounds like a UE18. So if Joshua, for instance, loses his device and breaks it, he reorders a UE18, he will know that he doesn't have to change anything on his stage to listen to his UE18, because it's going to sound the same. Okay? Wow. Now we have the shell that is being populated with the number of armature or speakers that are corresponding to the model that you ordered. We can now take the faceplate or the lid that we had and close the device. So here is an example of a device now that has been populated with the armatures. The faceplate has been put on top, and then we sealed it off completely. And as you can see, this one is all super shiny and clean. It's because we also polished it, because we cannot have any little particle of anything on this, because if you insert that inside your ear and there is something on it, it's going to scratch and hurt you. Okay? So now it's all buffed up, all clean, ready to go. We'll go to the next step. So the next step is to mark the device. We call laser engrave it. And what we do is we engrave the model number of the product, in this case the UE18, the initial of the customer, RK, and then we assign to you a unique number that will stay with you for the rest of your life. This allows us to identify those devices. And believe it or not, some people ship those products back to us and say, I need a tune-up, I need something. You don't even put any names, anything. So this allows us to identify the device. And we also do a little trick here. Red is right. So if you're on stage, it's a little bit dark, you grab this, you look at it, red, you know exactly goes to your right here, blue is left. Okay? Last but not least, what you see behind you here is a very high-end printer. And that printer is an Inkjet printer. And it has two major advantages compared to what you buy at home, besides its price. The first one is it can print on any type of materials. And the second advantage, it can print white. Okay?
Oh wow.
So here we have to print on an acrylic, right? So not a piece of paper. And my acrylic, unfortunately, does not have a white background, which means that if I want to print any colors of the rainbow, I would need to have some kind of white. That printer is capable of doing this. By doing this, I can essentially print anything you want on that faceplate. Okay? So this is the Bling Up section, and I'll show you where the binder where we have all kinds of art. And so here the sky's the limit, right? It goes from simple pictures with initials all the way up to little diamonds that have been put inside the device. Anything you want, the customer wants, we do it.
Yep.
That's the way
Fantastic.
Okay. Once this stage is finished, the final stage is to package the product into this box. The manual is put there, and what I forgot to show you, I'll show it to you here. So before we put it inside the box, we have what we call a roadie box, which is this little black box here. And that roadie box is laser engraved with your name, and that's where the final product will sit in. It's going to sit right there. Your cable will be in there.
Wow.
Okay. Go. That back in. So that rolly box that has been laser engraved with your name will be shipped with your cable inside that final box that I just demonstrated to you here. And that's going to be shipped to your home via UPS or FedEx.